Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with the Castle, your news show and discussion on all things Walt Disney World. On today's show, we have the NBA Experience grand opening, Bongos in Disney Springs closing very, very soon, Beatrix restaurant coming to Disney Springs, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has now brought 7,000 jobs to Orlando, and then also the Walt Disney Company's third quarter 2019 earnings report shows a decline in the domestic parks. Our discussion for this episode is going to be our expectations and thoughts going into the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge preview event that we will be at on the 19th. All of that and more, up next. Welcome back to the show, everybody. The date is August 12th, 2019, and this is episode 39 of the Keeping Up with the Castle podcast and videocast. My name is Colin. I will be your host as usual, and join with me every single episode, my co-host Brendan.
How's it going?
It's going very, very good. We've got quite a bit of news to come up for you guys, and we have a good discussion to come up, so I'm excited for that.
Me too.
A little bit of internal news. We just had, I know we mentioned Brendan's birthday was coming up, but Brendan's birthday was this
Saturday. This past Saturday.
The 10th, so happy birthday to Brendan.
Yeah.
Big 26 now,
26,
that's right. So getting up there in the world.
Yeah. Getting up there.
But no, other than that, just another reminder, we will be in Disney on the 19th for the Galaxy's Edge preview event, so we're very excited for that for sure. We plan to do a whole lot of vlogging and reviewing, post of, day after, and just kind of get you the honest review out. I know stuff's been up for Disneyland and it's almost a carbon copy, but I want to see how they're gonna run the preview. Is it gonna go smoothly? How they're doing the cues for each thing. I want to be able to just break it down. And
we probably won't have a news discussion early in the week. We might come out with one a little bit later next week.
But we will be out of town.
Yeah. So. We will be out of town. We might do something in the hotel. We don't exactly know.
We haven't decided yet. It depends on our situation. But all that aside, let's go ahead and dive into the news.
The NBA Experience officially opens today, August 12th, 2019, on the west side at Disney Springs with a grand opening ceremony featuring Disney's CEO Bob Iger and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. There's also NBA players and Disney stars. This NBA Experience costs $34 per person. I was watching the videos today. This was my childhood dream, to go to this place. There's so many different activities. You have the dunking area, you have dribbling, you have the slingshot, which is a little bit creative. I like how Disney did that. But this is the perfect place if you love basketball or if you're a kid and just trying to have a good time. For my next news topics, Bongos will be coming to its final days. The Cuban Cafe will be closing August 19, 2019, so that's literally next Monday. It'll be closing. Bongos has been around Disney Springs, downtown Disney, since 1997. It is the longest lasting restaurant at Disney Springs, so it's been around for 22 years and one of the only few received no changes, no flips inside of Disney Springs that occurred in 2015. Honestly, I loved this restaurant. It was very big. I think that's one of the reasons they're closing it down, but the food here was amazing. The skirt steak was to die for, same with the ceviche, and their appetizers it was just good to jump in there. They had some happy hour deals. And coming with that close, we have Beatrix that will be opening. It'll be on the west side of Disney Springs where Bongos is actually closing. Beatrix, owned by Let Us Entertain You Enterprises, a neighborhood restaurant, coffee house, and grab-and-go market featuring healthy food options including vegetarian, gluten-free, and vegan, along with fresh squeezed juice cocktails. This restaurant will also offer a bakery and a full-service bar with different types of beers and wine. Kind of skeptical about the size of the building for this. It's just a grab-and-go type market. I don't know how much vegetarian food. I like the idea of bringing a vegetarian place into Disney Springs, but that's a 2-story building at Bongos. Can they like bring in 2 stories worth of customers to this area? Or I don't know what they'll be doing. Maybe that will be storage, or there'll be a whole redesign, but that's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm glad they're bringing a vegetarian place to Disney Springs just to try out. I haven't had many things, but we'll see kind of what they do with the design, because 2 stories is quite a bit of space for, a grab-and-go type market.
All right, first up for my news topics is going to be that the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge here on the East Coast in Orlando is providing 7,000 jobs for the locals. So that's really, really cool, but we have a little bit to say about that. So in total, more than 7,000 jobs have been brought to the region since the project began in 2016. 1,700 of those are operational roles in the land itself, and more than 5,500 jobs resulted from the actual construction. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens to all guests in Walt Disney World on August 29th, 2019. The land has already been open, however, for cast member previews, and it is about to open for media previews and annual pass holder previews before the opening date. So the people that did the construction have already worked, been paid, I'm sorry, it's been great. And then now people are already working there every day. Cast members are already doing the ride rolls, the food and beverage rolls every single day. So very, very cool. All right, guys, the next and final news topic for this episode is going to be the Q3 earnings report for the Walt Disney Company. So we actually saw a decrease in the domestic park, but an overall 6% increase in income. So overall, that's a pretty solid comp for them, but domestically, there's some issues. So the Walt Disney Company just released their third quarter earnings, as I said. The overall increase was attributed to the performance of the consumer products business and the Disneyland Paris' great quarter, which is very rare for them. Normally they're borderline, but they did tremendous this quarter. So also operating income at the domestic park saw a decrease along with attendance, which is not great. In comments to investors, Bob Iger, the CEO, suggested that Disneyland declined due to the annual pass holders being blocked out during the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And at Walt Disney World, guests were delaying their visits until after Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opened. So that's what Bob Iger's saying. I'm sure that had an effect on some people, but to what degree, I don't know if that was 100% of the reason. I think there's some other reasons going on there, but the increase in the consumer products business was due to growth at the merchandise licensing and retail businesses. This growth was primarily due to higher revenue from merchandise based on Toy Story 4. So that's very cool. I'm glad to see that the movie did very well and the merchandise for it was a hit. All the Forky stuff sold like crazy, all the pillows, all the action figures. So good job, Disney. All right, guys, so our discussion, like I said, is going to be what our expectations and thoughts and what our things we're most looking forward to are going into the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge preview event that we're going to on the 19th. So we're going to talk specifically about what we're going to experience, how we're going to, how we think we're going to feel, etc., all the above. So, Brennan, go ahead with your expectations. Yeah. When you walk into the preview event, what are your expectations going into it?
I think it's going to be Avatar times 10. And I remember walking into Avatar for the first time and then being amazed. I think this is going to be 100 times more because I actually wanted this land. Right. And I think it's just going to be so immersive. Every little detail is going to be so amazing. I've been wanting a Star Wars land. I know some people have kind of been shaky about that, but going into the Bongos Cantina,
that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, because that's an actual movie scene. I feel like that's what I'm most excited for, and that's, okay, so I feel like so immersive. It's like literally.
Right, no, it's going to be awesome. I mean, they're going to have DJ Rex from Star Tours. Yeah. So, again, I like you said, I think it's going to be extremely immersive, and that's an expectation. From seeing people in Disneyland, it's definitely going to be immersive. And Brendan mentioned he's most excited for Bongos Cantina. I'm also very excited for that.
Yeah.
The drinks, the beverages, the music.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an insane opportunity to be able to sit in that building and just live that Star Wars lifestyle for a little
I think
while.
that's what everybody's most excited for, and that's why the line in Disneyland's been the longest, and I think that will be the exact same in Disney World.
Right. We'll have our time window for the event, so we'll make it in, but we'll see how they deal with it. Other than that, I'm most excited for the Ronto Roasters.
Yes,
So
I think both of us,
place,
honestly.
Yeah, we're big foodies, and again, the immersion, we're going to keep saying this word during this discussion because this land's going to be the most immersive thing. Like he said, more than Pandora, and I love the world of Pandora, the Avatar land. So, Ronto Roasters, they have like the sausages with the slaw and the pita, and to me, that just looks fantastic. The reviews are pretty solid. The theming, it looks like the food's getting barbecued by like
the
a
big
spaceship
roaster
engine like thing, or like a pod racer.
Yeah, it's a pod racer, which is honestly, I like how they brought that pod racing, aspect into it because
that was a great part of our childhood from episode 1 that came out when we were in elementary school.
Yeah.
So I love pod racing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not the best movie of them all, but pod racing's awesome. But Ronto Roasters, Bongos Cantina, we're very, very excited. Other than that,
I'm most excited, or I'll go on to like my most exciting experience.
Like merchandise.
Between the lightsaber and the droid depot, I'm actually more excited for the droid depot. I like how you can just kind of walk in and out. You can always see the conveyor belt. You maybe pick out 1 or 2 new pieces.
Customize it all up.
Customize it. You can change it out, and it wouldn't be crazy. The lightsaber, on the other hand, I think it's a 1 or 2 time experience. For most people, probably once, maybe twice.
Right. I think the droid's gonna be really cool. I think it's gonna be, I don't want to say re-rideable. It's an attraction, but redoable. Like you can go back for more droid customization and accessories. Yeah. But I'm most excited for these awesome lightsabers. And like he said, I think you can only get the lightsaber once, maybe twice.
Unless you're like a diehard Star Wars or
and you want the full setup, but I'd probably go get the Kyber crystals and change the color here and there. Who knows? But I'm really excited for that. I mean, the whole process and the way you like get your lightsaber turned on and you go through the little Jedi lightsaber class and all that. I think that's going to be a really, really cool experience, and I'm looking forward to actually vlog that and put a review up for you guys.
And then on the other hand, you do have the actual like wearable merchandise.
A lot of cool merch.
I don't think it'll be as big as a hit as Disney hoped it would be. But
I think they'll do fine. The sabers and the food and beverage.
I'm saying, with the costumes. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they really pulled back on that. They talked like there was going to be a lot, and everyone in Disneyland said there really actually wasn't that many. Mostly.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's probably something that
it's hot and sticky, and people just don't want to. You don't want to be in Halloween attire outside of that.
And then lastly, let's talk about Millennium Falcon.
Right, Smuggler's
This
Run.
ride is going to be a great ride. Probably it's tier 2 ride. We discussed it a little earlier. It's going to be a great, very immersive. I like how the Millennium Falcon kind of gets damaged if you don't do as well.
You customly fly it, so you have a different outcome every single time.
And it does depend on other people, which kind of stinks if you don't have a party of 5. I think it is.
Well, you'll always have a full party.
Or I'm saying,
you don't
but
know
with
if they're
your
going to
friend,
try or are they going to speak your language. You don't know any of that. So
that's the only downside of that ride. But
and if you're not the pilot, I don't think it'll be near as good of an experience. You move around, obviously you jostle around, but you're not going to get that full swooping diving experience that you get from like Flight of Passage. So I think it's going to be a good ride. Whenever it does get Fast Pass, 6, 12, 18, 24 months from now, I think it will maybe be a tier 2 after Rise of Resistance for sure is open and all that. And Mickey's Runaway and all that. But I'm still excited. It's going to be a really cool experience. Fingers crossed one of us at least can be pilot or something. But
so I think
overall I'm excited. I'm excited for the park.
We might be able to ride it twice. We'll see.
We'll see. It depends on the opportunity we have when we're there. But for now, I mean, that's going to do it. We're really excited. We have high expectations from what we've already seen. And we're just excited for it to come to fruition. We want to be there.
Yeah.
So that'll do it for this episode, guys. Let us know what you think about Galaxy's Edge. Have you been there to Disneyland? Have you been to the one in Disney World? What are your expectations, though, if you haven't? And also the news, guys. If you want to have any conversation or anything on the news, I would love to conversate with you about it. So drop a comment below. Please snag a like for us. And if you haven't subscribed,
Colin loves to talk, so
I love to talk, so comment, do whatever, and I promise you I'll respond. Other than that, please check us out on Instagram at Keeping Up with the Castle. But that'll do it again, guys. Thank you so much for following along. Take care.